Greetings, my dear friend. This is Mahdi, marketingmasteryonline.org, and we're back. We're back to continue this discussion about residual income, distribution, and relationships. Last conversation, we left off speaking about the two things that all companies want and need, and that is a loyal customer base. They want people to come back again and again for their product or service, and they want to increase their market share. Not only do they want you as a loyal customer, but they want more customers. So we figured out that we can get everything that we want if we arrange to give someone else what they want, right? Now, what do we want? We want economic stability. We want financial stability. That's what our families want. The other thing that we want is time freedom. So you've got companies on one side that want loyal customers and more of them, and you've got us on the other side who would be the quote-unquote consumer, but we're educated now. See, we are above the norm. We understand how the system, how the game goes. So what we want is financial stability and time freedom. We want to regain a measure of our time back so that we can pour our time into the projects that are important to us. So if there's so many thousands of companies, tens of thousands, millions of companies worldwide, and all of them want the same two things, that's a bonanza. That is a bonanza. That's an incredible opportunity for people who lock arms, put their brains together, synergize, and develop systems for delivering to companies what they want. What do they want again? A loyal customer base. They want it to be arranged so that we increase their client base, and we can do that. You know how? Ready? We organize the client base for any particular company by choosing that client base from our own people. We become the client base. All we have to figure out are basically a couple of things. So let me go down that list. It's not difficult, and it's really, what we're getting into now is really sophisticated business science. So we're looking at how we can develop a flow of residual income to us. That's what this whole conversation is about. So listen carefully. Number one, out of all the millions of companies that are out here, we want to make sure that the company that we're looking at, that your group of people are looking at to consider adding clients to that to that company, that the company has a product or a service that has true value in the marketplace. I don't mean perceived value. I mean something that people actually have a desire for. They even feel as though they need it in the marketplace. That's the first rule. It has to have an intrinsic value. The product, the service has to have a value of its own outside of what you would get paid for it. People in general have a true need for that product or service, so it has value. Number two, that if you and your group do contract with said company to deliver customers to them, to sign up, to enroll customers for their product or for their service, that the company is willing to pay you a handsome commission for doing that. Number two, rule number two. Number three, we're not in this for a one-shot deal. We're not here to get a commission and then have to go out and do this all over again. Remember, that's a job. We're trying to get rid of a job. We want residual income. The definition for that is an act that's done in the marketplace once that we get paid for month after month after month. So we set up this client, this new customer, with a product or service once. They subscribe or consume that product again and again and become a repeat customer for that client. So every month that that customer is on the books for that company, the company sends us commission. A percentage of the revenues generated from that customer being on the books that we brought to them. See, they didn't have to do anything for that customer. We brought that customer to them. No marketing, no advertising on their part. We provided the marketing and we provided the customer. So as long as that customer is a loyal customer, on the books, paying, we too get paid for having delivered that customer to the company. Isn't it cool? See, now your brain is working. I know it is. So that's number 3. Number 4, we want to look for companies that will reward us for building team, because that company wants to expand. They want customers in multiple territories. We don't want a company that only has service in one state, like some of these energy companies. You know, they're only, because of deregulation, they're only in this state, or they're only in that state, or they're waiting for this state to break, and da 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 da. No, we don't want that kind of restriction. We want to be able to build team, strategic partners from our contacts, our associates, our relations that will serve as quote unquote customers, loyal customers to these companies in multiple territories, preferably multiple countries, right? Number 5, we want the service preferably to be internet based. We at the International Association of Market Developers, our organization, love internet-based services because you don't have to deal with shipping, you don't have to deal with handling, you don't have to deal with customs, you don't have to deal with product degradation. In other words, it's spoiling over time, expiration dates, etc., etc., etc. You don't have to deal with that because it's a service that's internet-based. We love IT. We love technology services. We love technology products. The other thing about technology products is it expands the territories that you can deliver that service to. Because it's internet-based, there are no geographic boundaries. As long as the person has access to the internet, either through a computer or a smartphone, they can subscribe to that service, right? Become a customer, right? And it greatly expands our reach as distributors. Now we're able to contact our strategic partners, our contacts, associates, and relations in multiple countries and say, hey, you know, we found a company that we can align ourselves with and guarantee everybody in our organization a paycheck. That's what it's about. It's about guaranteeing your core group of people, your circle of influence, a check that's going to flow to them month after month after month, and their people. See, it expands to their circle of influence and their circle of influence. So we want to make sure that it's internet-based and there are no geographic boundaries. Are you getting the excitement of this now? That's residual income. That is a stream of income that you are able to channel to people of your own choosing. That is such a powerful concept. We'll take that up in another video. The next is we want the product to be at a reasonable price point. There are many, many countries on the planet that don't have a high per capita income. Right? As a matter of fact, what you may earn here in the States might be the equivalent of their annual salary. So we want to make sure that the product or service is reasonably priced so that it's affordable irregardless of the country's currency. Now, when you have all these things lined up in a company, when you're evaluating what kind of company should I be putting my energies behind, what kind of company should I be putting the energies of my people behind? These are the criterion that you look for. Again, from the top, number one, product or service that has true value in the marketplace. Number two, company is willing to pay you a handsome commission for establishing a customer with them. Number three, not only are they going to pay you a handsome commission at the time that service is established, but you are going to get a percentage of the revenues generated from that customer being on the books month after month after month. Number four, the company is willing to pay you bonuses for bringing team members, right, that will aid in the distribution of their product or service in multiple territories. So now you've greatly increased the amount of earnings that you have by bringing on additional agents, additional teammates, additional strategic partners. Again, we want to make sure, number six, that the product or service is priced reasonably so that we can have the greatest amount of market penetration as possible. We want it affordable in as many countries as possible. And last but not least, we want to make sure, for our sake, that it's not cash intensive, that it doesn't take an arm and a leg for us to start. And usually it doesn't. Most times companies want to, they have a fee, a registration fee of some sort for you signing on as an independent contractor to distribute their service, distribute their product, become an agent. We don't want that price point to be prohibitive, right? You want to make sure that the entry point is low enough and that the true fuel for this business is the leverage that you gain from your ever-increasing network of distributors. You don't want anybody to have to pay a lot of money up front. You want all of the monies to be generated by the number of distributors that you are able to bring into this from city to city in this country and into other countries. I hope you've gotten a lot out of this video. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much. Mahdi, marketingmasteryonline.org.